You are listening to Hillary Topper on Air, the small business podcast to help you grow both personally and professionally. And now, here's your host, Hillary Topper.
COVID-19 has dramatically changed the way we live. Now, more than ever, we need to hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. That's why it is crucial to take the right legal steps to protect yourself, to avoid legal crisis during COVID-19 should you or your loved one get sick. I'm Hillary Topper, and you are listening to Hillary Topper on Air. My guest today is Vincent J. Russo. Vincent is the managing shareholder of the Russo Law Group PC, Long Island's signature elder law, special needs, and estate planning firm. So, Vincent, welcome back to the show. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about you and the Russo Law Group?
Sure. Thank you so much. And it's great to be back again on your show. So I'm Vincent Russo, and my career has been totally focused on helping people, be it seniors with our elder law firm, parents who have children with special needs, or even young adult children with special needs. So we do a lot of planning for clients to protect assets and access government benefits. We also help people with their estate plans to make sure that they're leaving their assets in a protective way to their families. And we help people plan on retirement and how to make the money last in their retirement years. We help in so many different ways. So we always say to families, we want to be your family attorney. And if you have a question and it's legal, or you're not sure if it's legal, just call us up. It might be we can help you directly, but we also value being a resource and being helpful to refer our clients to the right professionals, the experts in all the different areas, be it legal, financial, or personal. So we've been doing this now for over 35, I've been doing it over 35 years.
Congratulations. Long time to be in business helping people. That's awesome. So now we're in the time of COVID-19. It's still prevalent, and it's really important to protect yourself, both legally and medically, but legally for these purposes if you fall sick. So talk to me a little bit about advanced directives. What are they and why are they needed?
Sure. And I think you're right, Hillary, that the pandemic has really heightened the awareness and also the need that exists in our daily lives to make sure that we've done planning to protect ourselves, not only for that day in time, but also for what might happen in the future, the unexpected things that happen in life. And hopefully there are a lot of good unexpected things, but there could be a lot of bad unexpected things. This pandemic is bad. So there are some key essential legal documents, and you've hit on it right up front, what we call advanced directives. These are documents that help you while you're alive with financial and healthcare decision making. And in New York, it breaks out into 3 documents. The durable power of attorney, which is a document for financial decision making. I'm perfectly healthy today, I make all my own decisions. But if someday I'm not able to manage my financial affairs, either for a short period of time, because I've been hospitalized because of COVID-19, or on a more permanent basis, for example, for someone who might have Alzheimer's. So that document appoints an agent or agents, people, who can, and they can be family members, who can step in and pay your bills and manage your assets and do planning to protect those assets. So that's the financial side, durable power of attorney. Now we move to healthcare. With COVID-19, healthcare is everything, right? Everybody's so concerned about their well-being and their loved ones. Well, when you're healthy, you make your own financial decisions. But if at a point where you're not able to, then the question becomes who can do that? And there are two very important documents, part of the advanced directives. One is a healthcare proxy. That's a document in New York that allows you to appoint one person at a time to make healthcare decisions for you. And they can make a broad number of decisions. But it's important that part of the law says that they need to know what you would or would not want when it comes to artificial nutrition and hydration, end of life situations. And so what we recommend beyond the healthcare proxy appointing the person to make decisions, we recommend a living will. And a living will are instructions to the agent. And those instructions are, I want all life-saving procedures, spend every dollar I have, all right? Or with most clients, if I'm not able to recover from being in a persistent vegetative state or in a coma or an irreversible condition and a doctor saying there's really no hope here, then you're instructing your agent to say, I want to withdraw or not receive that extraordinary medical treatment, respirators, ventilators, feeding tubes. So it goes to the quality of your life and how you feel about end-of-life situations. Unfortunately, we're all human. We're all going to pass away. I know that scares people and people hate to hear it. But that's a reality. And with COVID-19, my God, all these people who have passed away and were put in situations, and it really the worst thing in the world when family couldn't even visit in the hospitals and the nursing homes. Just so tragic, so tragic. So these documents may not eliminate the problem completely, but they'll help you and your family and your trusted family members or friends to be able to step in and do right by you and do the things that you need to have taken care of financially and medically.
So let's talk about these documents. Can they be done virtually? And if so, how does someone execute legal documents from their house? I mean, what do you do? Do you FedEx? How does that work?
All right, you're opening up a can of worms here, Hillary.
Yeah.
But it's a great question because a lot of people are homebound. They're frightened to death to go out into a lawyer's office, but they need the documents. So what do, right? So prior to COVID-19, you needed to do in-person document signings. So if you were to sign documents, you would need to do it in front of a notary. Or if the document required witnesses, you would need to do it in front of the witnesses. All right, so that's the normal prior to COVID. Then during this COVID pandemic, the governor of New York has said, we're going to have some executive orders and we're going to let people do it differently. We're going to let them do it remotely. So under the executive order right now, and it gets basically renewed every 30 days or so. So right now we're in a covered period where into the beginning of September, and then we'll see if it gets renewed again, which I expect. We can arrange for someone at home to sign the advanced directives or even a will or a trust. And we can do it remotely as witnesses and as the notary. So I sit in my house and Hillary sits in her house. Hillary says, I want to sign the documents. We have to do FaceTime or a video conference because I have to see you sign the documents. And I'm going to short the process only to a minute of discussion. because there are certain steps that have to be followed. So I'm the notary. Hillary signs the document. She then sends that signed document to me electronically. And then I notarize it. All right. And then we have a signed document.
Awesome.
If it's will, we need 2 witnesses. I have staff in my office or at home, and we do a video conference or FaceTime on our phones, and they witness the signing of a will, and then the will gets sent to us electronically, and then we sign it. All right. So the good news is we can do that in homebound situations, assisted living, nursing homes, and hospitals. We can do it remotely. But the other good part of this is that we have spent hours and hours cleaning our office, putting in procedures so a client can feel comfortable coming into our office. We're going to take your temperature. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions, and you have to wear a mask. But as long as you're willing to do that, we'll put you in a conference room. We have a big boardroom, so we do social distancing of more than 6 feet, and we can have you sign those documents in front of our attorneys and staff, whichever makes you comfortable. Now, I can also do a drive-by. Now, that might sound scary, right? But a drive-by is you get in your car, you drive into our parking lot at our office, you don't leave the car, and we come out and we have you sign the documents while you're sitting in your car, and we witness it from the parking lot. Or we'll drive by your house and we'll stop at your house, and you'll stand inside the house, you'll open the front door, we'll see you from a distance, we'll mail you everything in advance so you have the documents. So you don't even have to, and then you just put them on the floor, close the door, we take them away, and we sign them. So we do it every which way. We want to get those documents signed and make sure you're protected.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit. I hope that's okay with you. I want to talk a little bit about this this new law on October 1st that's coming down about Medicaid planning. Can you tell our listeners about that, what it means to them?
Yeah, this is really sad for me to talk about this because, it's like, when someone's been knocked down, do you then kick them in the gut? And we're in COVID-19, we're in this pandemic, and New York State, in their budget bill, changed the rules for qualifying for Medicaid home care. And it's going to force a lot of people out of the program, or they're not going to be able to qualify come October 1st. So I'm going to make 2 points here. One is, if you think you need Medicaid home care, file your application before October 1st under the existing rules. And the big rule change is that if you have assets and you transfer them, take them out of your name in order to qualify for Medicaid, because you can't have a lot of assets in your name when you file, there's no penalty for doing that prior to October 1st. When October 1st comes, if you came to me on September 15th and you said, I own a house and I have $200,000 in the bank and I have a brokerage account, I'd say, fine, we're going to transfer those assets to a trust or to your children. October 1st, we're going to file for Medicaid and you're going to be eligible. On October 1st, if you came to me and with the same set of facts, now I have to do a lot more planning. You are not automatically eligible. And it may be for many people, they're not going to be eligible for months or for years, up to 5 years. So with the lawyers, we're going to figure out how to get you there, but it may not be automatic. It may take, you may have to privately pay for 6 months. And that's going to be terrible, or 12 months or longer. So the key is do it now. We've got 6 weeks. Anybody who thinks they may need Medicaid home care, file now. All right. If we get past October 1st, you've got to see an elder law attorney. We've got to analyze how we can get you eligible in the shortest possible time. If you're married, we have a way of doing that right away. If you're single, then it's going to get more difficult.
Now, in that same almost regard, I guess, can you tell our listeners how seniors have been affected by the coronavirus and what's important information as it pertains now to Medicare?
Okay. Well, the good news is that Medicare covers testing for the COVID-19, and there were modifications made in some of the Medicare rules to extend coverage in a hospital or nursing home setting. So the good news is Medicare has been helpful with responding to the COVID-19 situation. Now, in the bigger picture with seniors, especially those who were in nursing homes or are in nursing homes, we see the statistics. The most vulnerable population are our nursing home residents. So for a good period of time, especially in New York, we were seeing so many of our seniors pass away. Now things seem to have gotten better here, but in other parts of the country, not so good. There was pretty much, and I'm going to use the word lockdown, that, to try to get control, you got to kind of lock it down. You got to lock people in, into their space and avoid the visitors coming in, and you got to do tracing and tracking. So they're finally now opened up visitation again. So the key has been communication, making sure you understand your loved ones being taken care of, communicating with them through the telephone or through video conferencing, tablets, or laptops, and making sure that the nursing home's doing what they were told to do by the CDC. CDC issued rules and said, you've got to do X, Y, and Z to take care of your residents. And families should hold the nursing homes accountable for that. And the nursing homes, I know, have done their best to step up. A lot of the staff got sick in those nursing homes. So the good news is there is now visitation. They have protocols. And if you're not happy, the first thing to do is communicate with the administration of the nursing home or the assisted living. If you're still not happy and want to know what can you do, you call us up. You call up the elder law attorney to help.
Thank you. That's great, especially since many of these people who have been on lockdown have gone downhill.
Yes.
Cognitively.
Right.
So it's, so now the family members really need to step in.
Yeah, I just did I have a daily check-in that I do a couple times a week. And the daily check-in I did for this past Wednesday was on mental health of seniors who are in nursing homes and assisted living. And I had a licensed clinical social worker, Nancy Amer Lake, on my daily. It's only 6 minutes, but if you want to drill down more about this issue, that would be a place to see it on Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you, Vincent. So let's now go back to the importance of estate planning, especially during COVID-19. This is, I just want you to wrap that up because it's so important right now.
Sure. So once you get those advanced directives in place, I would say that's step one. And that's what's really most important if you're going to take it in pieces, stages. The next, it would be dealing with your will, or some people have a revocable living trust. And so this goes to, how do you want to pass your assets on if something happens to you? And who should receive those assets and in what way? So we now, unfortunately see it happening on a daily basis. We're losing over 1,000 of us here in the United States these days, passing due to the virus. Many have lost. We've lost over 25 of our own clients in our firm. And so the reality is right in front of us, that anything can happen at any time. And we really need to have a legal document in place that deals with my assets, how I want to leave them, who's going to get them, and when are they going to get them, and in what way. So I think the real eye opener here is that statistically, like over 70% of the population don't have wills. God bless them. I hope they live forever, but they don't have wills. And some people say, well, I don't have anything. I don't own anything. And the reality is yeah, they do. They own a house, they own a car, they have a bank account, they have a brokerage account, they have a 401k or an IRA. They do. They have assets. And so what's the plan? There is no plan unless you have a will or a revocable living trust. And then today, life is so complicated that do you want to leave those assets outright to people, or do you want to put it in a trust that makes it creditor protected, or protected if they have special needs and want to stay on government benefits, or they have a marital problem? So do you want to leave assets and then have the other spouse try to get them? The one, and
Right.
that's your daughter-in-law and son-in-law that you would like to kill if it was legal, but it's illegal to kill people. So I don't recommend it. So why would you put your assets at risk? The last thing you want is that no good, bleep, 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 son-in-law or daughter-in-law
Right.
who's going to get those assets. So now's the time to really pull it together, think it through. And I think the COVID piece to this that is the eye-opener is that avoiding probate could be really important. So probate is where you have to file your will in the surrogate's court, but the surrogate court shut down. So people passed away, and like they couldn't find a funeral home to bury you, you couldn't find a court to be able to file your will to get the executor appointed to then be in charge of your assets, to pay the bills and pass the assets on. So now the surrogate's court is so backed up. All of that can be avoided by having your plan in a revocable living trust. Call it an RLT. Like, McDonald's has, or is it Burger King, or a BLT for bacon, lettuce, and tomato. So it's an RLT, revocable living trust. And then you don't have to file it in court. You don't have to wait for an executor to be appointed. And your family can get immediate access to your assets in that trust.
So last but not least, Vincent, can you tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you and the firm?
Sure, absolutely. And I appreciate your asking that. So Russo Law Group has a number of different locations. Number one, we're in Garden City. We're in Islandia. We're in Lido Beach. We have a satellite office in Manhattan. So we try to make ourselves readily available. We have one number that reaches all the locations. And it's 516-683-1717. 516-683-1717. And our website is djrussolaw.com. On our website, we have a tab. If you're an existing client, a lot of information there. If you're interested in our services, we have another tab for that. Lots of information on our website. You have helped us with our website, which we appreciate. And so, there's a lot of content there.
A lot of content.
And we've been doing webinars on Facebook every 2 weeks. They're free and they're being posted, and we're tackling all these topics that you're asking about, Hillary.
And they're great. They're great webinars. So thank you so much for doing those and educating the population. I think we all appreciate that. And I also appreciate you being on the show today. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, and please tell them that you heard about them on Hillary Topper on Air. The Russo Law Group, thank you for that as well. The Profit Express with Tim Healy, Pop International Galleries, The Donna Drake Show, and Fortune Fine Jewelry. And last but not least, I want to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. If you'd like more information on this show or any other show, you can see us on HillaryTopperOnAir.com, or you could find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, you name it. We're even on Amazon Alexa. I hope you have a great day.